has 5 toes. You can see its very large hands. See its eyes. It clearly is a male. You can see right there. This is the front of the Sasquatch. You know, compared to a human's hand, like my hand's not even close.
A creature filmed in Northern California may rewrite everything we know about wild legends. They captured a Bigfoot in California. For decades, people dismissed rumors of a giant ape-like being in the forests. Now, a single photo puts all that doubt to rest. The image shows a massive, hairy figure standing against redwood giants. Could this be the proof that Bigfoot exists? Today, we will trace ancient folklore to a startling photograph that could prove Bigfoot is real. Roots of the Sasquatch legend. Across the globe, people have told stories of giant, ape-like beings living in deep forests. In North America, these creatures go by names like Bigfoot, Sasquatch, or Hairy Man. In the Himalayas, locals speak of the Yeti. In Russia, they call it the Almasty. From Japan's yokai to Australia's yoi, these forest spirits share striking similarities. Native American tribes have passed down Sasquatch stories for centuries. The Coast Salish speak of Tsemequis, a forest guardian with great strength. The Lumi tell of Tsaukwala, a wild man who protects clear water springs. These figures were never monsters, but powerful spirits tied to the land. Key details appear again and again. Witnesses describe a creature standing 7 to 10 feet tall. Long, dark hair covers its body. It walks upright on 2 legs. It moves slowly with heavy, rolling steps. Many say it avoids people, vanishing into thick brush at the first sign of danger. Why do so many cultures share these stories? Anthropologists point to human curiosity about the unknown. Dense forests and rugged mountains hide many secrets. Before modern mapping, people feared what lay beyond the trail. Giant footprints in mud or fresh tree breaks stoked those fears. Footprints play a big role in legend. Early explorers found prints measuring up to 2 feet long. The soles show deep arches and 5 toes, with toe lengths that vary. Some casts even preserve skin ridges, like the fingerprints we all carry. Audio evidence adds more mystery. Listeners report wood knocks echoing after sunset. Low, guttural howls pierce the night. These sounds draw parallels to ape calls, but deeper and slower. They seem to come from far away, then close in, like a challenge or greeting. Folklorists also see a human need to believe in guardians. In many myths, the wild man protects nature from harm. He punishes those who destroy trees or pollute streams. Such stories reinforce respect for forests and wildlife. Modern explorers have carried these legends into the field. In the 1950s, University of British Columbia students organized the first formal Sasquatch expedition. They scoured Vancouver Island forests, looking for clearings and fresh tracks. Though they found no corpse, the hunt inspired many amateur teams. By the 1960s, local newspapers began reporting more sightings. Ranchers in Washington state checked stock corrals for giant footmarks. Hikers in Oregon posted homemade flyers with crude sketches. The legend turned into a grassroots campaign for proof. From ancient forest legends to the groundbreaking 1967 film, get ready for the scene that transformed the Bigfoot hunt forever. The Patterson-Gimlin Breakthrough. On October 20th, 1967, 2 men rode horses along Bluff Creek in Northern California. Roger Patterson held a 16mm camera. Robert Gimlin guided the horses. Suddenly, a dark shape appeared on the creek bank. Patterson stopped and filmed. The footage lasts barely a minute, yet it ignited a worldwide sensation. In each frame, a large, hairy figure steps forward. It glances at the camera, shifts its weight, and moves into the trees. Collectors call the creature Patty. Image analysis dives into every detail. Experts measured Patty's stride, about 5 feet per step. That suggests a height of nearly 8 feet. Her arm reaches down to mid-thigh, far longer than a human arm. Muscle tone shows defined shoulders and biceps, not a loose costume. Frame-by-frame study reveals a rolling hip motion. This natural gait matches what we see in great apes and humans. Hard to fake. Costume makers struggle to design suits that fold and stretch that way under natural light. Scientists also examined light and shadow. Patty's shadows aligned perfectly with the sun's angle that afternoon. No mismatched glow or hard edges betray a rubber mask or hidden crew. Footprint casts taken that day measure 15 inches long by 6 inches wide. They show clear arches and distinct toe separations. Skin ridges captured in the mud match no known animal. Experts compared these to black bear prints. No match. Patty's cultural impact has been enormous. The clip aired on local TV in 1968. Soon, documentaries and talk shows picked it up. Fans printed posters and badges. "I believe," declared bumper stickers coast to coast. Universities even screened the film. Some professors called it the best evidence on Earth. Others scoffed, citing hoax theories. Yet neither side could explain the combination of motion, proportions, and footprints. In the decades since, Patty has never been debunked or confirmed. The original film sits in a private archive, but frames circulate online. Skeptics point at one detail. The creature's chest appears oddly puffy. They claim a suit's chest pad. Believers counter that real apes have broad chests and round torsos. Footage breakdowns often focus on muscle flex. When Patty shifts weight, shoulder and bicep flex patterns match primate anatomy. Human suits tend to bunch at joints, but Patty's hair stays smooth over her arms and legs, even during motion. Footprints and casts from the same year emerged nearby. Ranch hands reported new tracks along Bluff Creek. They measured them carefully, noting toe splay angles consistent with the film prints. Those secondary finds give the original footage context. Over time, Patty became an icon. Bigfoot museums opened in Oregon and Washington. Annual festivals celebrate the Bluff Creek sighting. Researchers gather to debate new video analysis tools, from 3D modeling to AI motion tracking. Scientific scrutiny has grown more precise. Infrared cameras and LiDAR scans map forest clearings where Patty walked. Drones hover at treetop level, seeking eye reflections in the underbrush. Radio towers record sudden knocks and hums after dark. Decades after Patty's stroll in Bluff Creek, one photographer's lost image resurfaces to spark fresh hope in California's redwood wilderness. Thomas Anderson's California capture. Thomas Anderson spent years tracing Bigfoot rumors through Northern California's tangled forests. A nature photographer by trade, he'd filmed everything from elk herds to osprey nests. But it was the Sasquatch legend that truly captured his curiosity. He studied maps, weather patterns, and the exact trails near Bluff Creek where Patterson Gimlin filmed in 1967. In 2018, a faded photograph surfaced on a private Bigfoot forum. Posted by an anonymous user, it claimed to show a dark shape behind thick redwood trunks. The user said Thomas shot it in late 1968, just 1 year after Patty's famous stroll. No one knew the exact date, but the image stirred old memories for Anderson. He remembered that foggy dusk. The sky glowed pink through the canopy. He'd set up a 35mm camera on a tripod at a creek crossing. He planned a long exposure to catch deer moving at twilight. Instead, he captured something far larger. The forest was quiet as he waited. Then he heard a low grunt behind him. He turned, lifted his camera, and looked through the viewfinder. There, half hidden behind a cluster of ferns, stood a massive shape. Broad shoulders, a domed skull, and arms hanging below the hips. Long, dark hair covered the back and arms. Its face remained in shadow. Thomas snapped 3 shots within seconds. The creature paused, appeared to stare, then shifted its weight and stepped back. It moved with surprising poise, silent, controlled, almost curious. Before he could reload, it slipped into the gloom. When he developed the film, one frame showed the figure clearly enough to rule out a bear or elk. He kept the negative safe in a cedar chest alongside his other prized landscapes. But at the time, mainstream outlets dismissed it. No newspaper would publish a blurry photo of a supposed monster. Decades later, a Reddit user matched the camera model and landscape features to Anderson's known hiking spots. That post brought the photograph back into headlines. Bigfoot groups analyzed the image pixel by pixel. One team measured the distance between the figure and a nearby tree stump. That placed the creature's height around 8 feet. Another group examined hair texture under magnification. They noted long, coarse strands, inconsistent with any known animal in the region. A primate specialist even tested whether a dark-haired bear could create that silhouette. The answers fell short of a match. Local Bigfoot clubs held Zoom calls with Thomas. He described his camping rig: a single lantern, a sleeping bag, and enough rations for 2 weeks. He showed maps marking Bluff Creek's North Bend, the exact spot where the figure appeared. Members cross-referenced his notes with satellite images of the creek bank to confirm the location. One club posted a side-by-side of Thomas's photo and a still from the Patterson-Gimlin film. The comparisons highlighted similar body proportions: broad chest, narrow waist, and long arms. Even the foot placement on sloping ground looked alike. Thomas remains cautious. He still carries the original negative in a lockbox, but he welcomes new eyes on the image. Photo experts are now scanning each grain of silver halide to rule out double exposure or tampering. Up next, discover footprints, howls, and camera traps that bring the legend into tangible focus. Physical evidence. Beyond photos, photo claims alone won't settle Bigfoot's existence. Yet across North America, more tangible clues turn up in remote areas. Hikers report sudden rustling near stream banks. Many describe feeling watched, then spotting 2 glowing eyes at dusk. Those who press on often find giant footprints imprinted in mud or soft soil. Sizes range from 15 to 24 inches long, with toes set in a gentle curve rather than the straight line of a large human. Footprint casts reveal striking details. Clear dermal ridges, tiny skin patterns mark the surface. That suggests a fleshy pad, not a rubber suit. Some casts show a deep arch and flexible midsole. Experts note that bear paws flatten too evenly. Bigfoot prints have distinct pressure points at toe tips and heel. Hunters in Oregon once followed a set of fresh tracks for 2 miles. The prints climbed a rocky ledge, bypassed thickets, and even crossed a shallow creek without breaking stride. When they tried to trace them further, the path ended at the forest edge. No broken branches, no bent grass, nothing to explain the sudden vanishing. Audio evidence builds the case. Recordings from remote trail cams capture low-frequency howls at night. These guttural calls often repeat in loose sequences. 1 howl, a pause, then 2 more. Primate specialists say such depth matches ape calls, but with a slower cadence and lower pitch. Observers also note wood knocks, sharp raps on tree trunks. Some believe these taps mimic mating calls or territorial warnings. In one famous instance, a wildlife station recorded 27 knocks in 10 minutes, always on trees within camera range, but never showing an animal. Modern camera traps add fresh data. In the Cascades, infrared trail cams stationed at watering holes caught a large figure moving past in half shadow. The frame shows broad hips, no tail, and hair covering arms and legs. The image lacks detail, but aligns with the general outline from Patterson-Gimlin and Thomas Anderson's shot. Clearing cams, camera units placed in small forest clearings, picked up quick silhouettes. A 2022 model with motion-activated video recorded a dark mass standing still for 6 seconds, then scratching at a fallen log. When enlarged, the shape shows shoulder movement independent of the torso, another sign of a living creature rather than a moving branch. In Texas's Big Thicket, a series of night cams captured thermal images. One sequence shows a bipedal form at 3 a.m., walking upright across a clearing. The heat signature spans nearly 2 meters tall. The cameras logged heart rate spikes in surrounding deer, suggesting startled wildlife reaction. Forensic teams sometimes investigate hair samples. A 2019 study found coarse strands with medullas thicker than any known bear or wolf hair. Chemical tests ruled out common North American mammals. While contaminated samples complicate DNA work, labs keep refining methods to isolate true Bigfoot sequences. Tracks and calls are one thing. Now travel back in time to America's earliest wild man scares that fueled local panic. Historic U.S. Wild man encounters. In 1921, New York's Adirondack region plunged into fear. Ranchers woke to missing livestock. Goats, sheep, and even calves had vanished overnight. Locals heard deep, mournful howls echoing across forested ridges. Men patrolled on horseback, lanterns in hand, but never caught a glimpse. When dawn broke, massive hoof-like prints appeared in muddy clearings. Each track measured nearly 2 feet long, with 5 distinct toes. News spread to small-town papers, describing a beast haunting the woods. Farmers barred the barn doors at dusk. Children slept in groups. Yet no bullet holes or snares ever trapped the creature. Then, just as suddenly as it arrived, the mysterious visitor vanished into the mountains, leaving only footprints and hushed stories. Fast forward to 1934 in Amityville, Long Island. Residents reported a half-man, half-ape prowling backyards at night. One evening, Mrs. Abney watched glowing orange eyes loom through her kitchen window. She screamed, and the creature smashed her back door with a heavy club. Furniture lay splintered, and claw marks branded the walls. Word spread fast. On September 4th, townsfolk armed themselves with shotguns and torches. In small patrols, they scoured dark alleys and bushy lots. The Amityville Ape Man became front-page news. Yet no board of selectmen offered proof, just frightened eyewitness accounts. The next week, the attacks stopped. The ape man became legend, caught in whispers and newspaper clippings. In Whitehall, upstate New York, reports began in 1961. 2 local women walking along Lake Champlain's East Bay froze when a hulking figure crossed their path. It moved upright, hair dripping with dew, then vanished into the pines. Over the next months, more sightings followed. Fishermen claimed huge footprints on rocky banks. Campers heard low growls after midnight. A few witnesses described a wild man carrying a tree branch like a club. The press dubbed him the Whitehall Wraith. Panic rose when one summer afternoon, a young boy spotted the creature just 20 feet from his porch. He ran back inside, breathless, shaking with fear. Yet by 1962, reports tapered off, and life returned to normal, until new rumors flared in the 1980s. Across these events, patterns emerge. Rural communities suddenly face a force they cannot see. Farms and homesteads feel vulnerable. Media frenzy turns quiet towns into headline fodder. Some areas describe aggressive behavior. Amityville's smashed doors. Others note shy retreats. Adirondack howls that fade at first light. Terrain varies from dense pine forests to suburban backyards. Yet the common thread is fear of the unknown and respect for untamed nature. Each encounter stirs neighbors to action. Armed patrols, barricades, vigilante groups. No government agency ever confirmed a culprit. Questions linger. Wild ape, escaped circus animal, or something else? Coming up, lab tests, DNA studies, and the debate over hoax versus hominid. Skeptics, science, and what's next? Bigfoot evidence sparks fierce debate. Skeptics point to hoaxes, people in gorilla suits, staged footage, and CGI tricks. Some claims fall apart under simple checks. They note costume seams or unnatural limb bends. Others highlight mice-identified bears walking on hind legs. A hungry black bear can look 6 feet tall when upright, hair wet and matted. Low light and shaky cameras only worsen the illusion. Yet skeptics admit that not every sighting fits these errors. On the scientific front, DNA sampling offers new promise. Field teams collect hair, scat, and skin flakes found near reported tracks. They test samples against databases of known species. So far, results match bears, rodents, or even domestic dogs. But environmental DNA, or eDNA, may change that. By analyzing water or soil for genetic traces, scientists can detect rare creatures without finding a body. A creek sample may reveal Bigfoot DNA if it exists. Pilot studies in remote forests are underway to see if eDNA yields unknown sequences. The media plays a huge role in keeping interest alive. Viral social media posts can rack up millions of views overnight. YouTube channels dissect blurry clips, inviting viewers to vote in polls. Podcasts interview eyewitnesses live on air. Reality TV shows send celebrities on Bigfoot hunts. This constant coverage fuels both believers and doubters. A single viral photo, like Thomas Anderson's, can spark fresh expeditions within days. Future searches will lean heavily on advanced tech. Drone-mounted LiDAR scans map forest floors in 3D, revealing hidden clearings and possible footprints. Infrared camera networks monitor temperature shifts, spotting warm shapes moving at night. Trail cam arrays, linked by mesh networks, stream real-time alerts when motion is detected. Even citizen science apps allow hikers to upload GPS-tagged photos of odd prints or sounds. This crowdsourced data feeds into central maps for researchers to analyze. If Bigfoot turns out to be real, the implications are huge. Wildlife management agencies would need new guidelines for large predator or primate species. Protected habitat zones could expand to safeguard breeding areas. Ecotourism might boom, with guided Bigfoot safaris drawing curious travelers. At the same time, cultural reverence would deepen. Many native tribes already honor Sasquatch as a spirit being. Official recognition could lead to ceremonies and partnerships for habitat protection. Yet we must remain cautious. Premature announcements risk discrediting genuine findings. Protocols will require multiple proof forms: DNA, clear multi-angle footage, and physical remains. International experts will need to verify claims before museums add Bigfoot specimens. Peer-reviewed journals will publish detailed analyses to separate fact from fiction. An age-old mystery meets modern gear and one photographer's brave shot. If Bigfoot roams California's woods, this image could change how we study nature and myth. Let us know your take in the comments. Hit subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss the moment we confirm or debunk this legend. Stay tuned. Your next adventure in the unknown starts here. Thanks for watching and sharing this hunt with us.